Hello animators, how's it going? Okay, so welcome to the third random animation review. This shot comes from Ravi, and I wanted to kind of go over this tonight and just look at this shot again and kind of talk about some things that I might do to polish a shot and give it a little bit more of a tightening pass on it. Okay, so here's a refresher. Here's what the shot looks like right now, currently. Pretty solid, right? Fun shot. Ravi's got a good eye for timing. Good poses for the most part. He's got a good handle on the rig. So let's get into it. Okay, so number one, first thing I would do here is I would add a little bit more time at the beginning of the shot to let our audience kind of lead into the first movement, right? Right now, the timing for the steps to approach the box feels very consistent. And I would probably add a few frames right in through here, this first part of the step, as that right foot starts to foot roll, okay? So that way you get a little bit more time pushing out of that first movement where that right foot is pushing his body forward to take that first step. Okay, that's the first thing I would probably do, is just open up the shot a little bit, maybe 3-4 frames, okay? Additionally, I would like to see this beginning pose here, maybe have a little bit more of a weight shift to then go into the first step. That's something I would probably explore, but not a big deal. It's not a deal breaker, right? Something I might do. Additionally, this first gesture right here with his right hand, or I'm sorry, his left hand, kind of contemplating the box or thinking, I might go for a little more silhouette out here to the side maybe, than kind of what appears to kind of be the bottom of the chin around the neck area. So I would just go for clarity there and kind of maybe push that idea, just to get some separation in the gesture, okay? But again, it's not bad, okay? All right, so from a polish standpoint, one thing I would do here is, if I'm looking at this foot start to foot roll here, his right foot, right? The first thing I might do is actually let the ankle lean more towards where he's going here, right? Okay, so maybe get a little bit more lean this way, okay? And that way you're not just basically doing a generic straight up foot roll when the body's actually pushing forward, and you're going to get some rotation and some kind of lean into that foot as it pushes off and kind of comes off the ground in steps, okay? So something to think about there. Again, just giving yourself some more time through here will really help sell that weight as he gets going, okay? And then right in here, I think what I would do is I wouldn't bring his TY down yet. I think I'd actually have his TY max out at the highest point right around frame 15. So just go back to your curve editor, right? And just go look at that curve, and maybe right around here is frame 15, for example, okay? And that way you start to get that right foot out in front of the weight coming down. And maybe what you could do is you could say to yourself, well, maybe this is where my foot's gonna land here, but maybe one frame sooner, maybe I already have maybe a little bit of a tippy toe if you wanted to. You could do any number of things there to kind of get the foot down and then down flat, right? We don't have to necessarily go down flat. We can come down on the heel, we can come down on the tippy toe and kind of roll back down. Just kind of break it up, I think, you know? But what my point was, though, is that this frame right here at 15 and even 14, you can start to favor into the next contact pose, okay? And then if the TY is delayed one frame, like 15, where that's where you're hitting your apex, and then it starts to come down on frame 16, then you get that nice separation of the body coming over the top as the foot's in its mid position and then going into that contact pose, okay? All right, so that's one thing I would look at right there. Okay, that way we don't get this kind of foot coming down at the same time as the body. It just kind of feels too together, okay? For lack of a better word. All right, so this looks pretty good through here. One thing that would be really nice right here from a character standpoint would be maybe a little bit of a lean on the head to not hit his forehead on the shelving. So maybe he's aware of like coming underneath a little bit. That's one thing I might do just as a kind of a character pose. Okay. Okay, cool. So now as you come in here, around 32 or so, he's gonna grab the box and he's gonna basically come in through here, and he's gonna take a small step back with the right foot, and he's gonna position himself to shift his weight backwards, right? Okay. Again, if you look at the right foot going backwards, the body for the most part moves with that foot, and I might delay the body's translation Z curve just a tad longer so that you get kind of a push in, which lets you basically take a step because you've put your weight in front of you now. And so now you can foot roll that foot up, take a step back, and let the body fall on top of it. So you're doing leads and follows, right? Okay. So right here, you start to move the foot at 31, right? Okay. So instead of moving the foot there, or if you do want to move it there, a frame before or 2 frames before, start to push this foot up a little bit. Shift the weight forward so that you can, you know, move the body, okay? Or that you can move the foot because the body's not in the way, okay? And then what that'll do is that foot roll will also help you push this body up, okay? And then you can step back, okay? Again, similar to the note at the beginning, when you go to put this foot down back here, think about how you're angled and you're putting the foot back there at an angle. You're not just going to be perfectly putting it down and then rolling down, right? So you want areas to step and then rotate the foot down, along with not only a rotation Y, but rotation Z as well, right? Okay. So you've got a lot of things happening there. So take advantage of all of your channels. Okay. All right. So once we get that foot down here, he's going to start to pull the box, right? One thing I would do here is I would mix up the hands a little bit. You know, you're doing a small push forward, then you start to pull. And what I probably would do for a really nuanced polish note is I would take my hands here at some point, and as I reposition my hand here, coming up into frame 35 or so, I would literally take the hand off the box and I would relax the fingers. I know he's got like kind of a mitten setup, but that's okay. Relax the fingers a little bit and then go to engage the box again and feel those fingers push into the surface of the box and get a new hand position, okay? So now you're ready to pull the box off the shelf, okay? All right, so now we're pulling the box here. I like that you're doing this little adjustment here to kind of get a better grip on the box, but again, it feels too generic right now. It's just kind of a slide up, right? Again, take the hand off a little bit, get into some new pose shape there, and then reapply the hand in an interesting way to get that nuance in there, right? To really make it feel like it's polished, okay? And then that way you can get a new grip on the box here and then start to pull up here. Okay, so now right here, there's an opportunity here, I think, to get your weight under the box to then push up into this move right here, okay? Right now, you're kind of generically just kind of pulling the box up with the body. So you've got some rotation happening here like this, and the box is just kind of coming along with it, right? So what I would probably attempt to do there is I probably would start to pull the box here, and then I would probably drop my weight. I would actually probably, you know, drop my weight here, and I would try to pull the box in a little bit here, and I might even like bring my head down a little bit here, and I would attempt to get like myself under the box, and then I would heave up underneath the box a little bit more, okay, and then get myself still into this pose around 81, 82, okay. So that way I'm still in this position right here to go forward and lift the box on top of the shelf, okay. All right, now, as he's coming up the top right here, don't forget to do little things like overlap, okay? So I'll oftentimes look for opportunities to drag something as something's moving the opposite way, right? So we're talking about overlapping shapes. So for example, as he lifts the box here, the one thing I would love to see is I would love to see a little more tension for one, maybe bring the shoulders down a little bit, and just get really tense positioning here, you know. okay? And then additionally what I would do is I would have the neck probably a little bit forward here, and I might bring this head down a little bit and like really think about creating some drag down here, okay? So that way as the body's going up, his head's dragging kind of down and then comes up, right? So you're just taking advantage of overlapping shapes to create more organic movement and to make the character feel less rigid, okay? Now, if you can, what I would try to do here is on this back foot, you're starting to slide it forward a little bit right here. I would try to lock that down and really let us feel the foot roll, pushing him forward, right? Because he's taking a step, right? He's like, right? He's lifting that box up on top of this table, and you want really that back foot to help you push forward, okay? So I would lock into that a little bit longer maybe. So I think even right here, instead of the foot starting to slide forward here, and then you're just kind of up in the air here, you know, really dig into that foot roll and get to a place where his foot is still back here, but you're like really cranking that foot, you know what I mean? And then from here, then you can literally roll the foot onto the tippy toe and then step, okay? So you like really feel that nice progression into that step towards the table, okay? And then I'm okay with you stepping the toes down right here. Well, let me back up. So through the passing position, you know, give yourself a little bit potential height here, you know, maybe not that much, but you can play with that idea, right? And then you can step down into the step right here. But I think what I would try to do is I probably would try to use the back foot as my foot roll, get him up here. He heaves the table or heaves the box onto the table. And as he comes down, my right foot would kind of kick in and then step back. So I wouldn't even put my foot down in the front position, which you have right here. I would actually have it maybe more like, you know, like up in the air here, coming through this like action. And then as he came down with the box, I would already be starting to like bring my foot back here, right? If I can get my pen to draw. So I'm like starting to like step backwards into this step right here. So you get more of kind of like a foot roll, kick in, back, down, okay? That might be something kind of fun and textural to do because you've got all this momentum kind of going over the top, right? And so you can kind of bring that foot up and then back and then let the body then fall back on top of that weight. Cool. All right, so that. And then again right here too. The idea here for me would be definitely get the foot back there sooner anyway, because look at the body going down right here and back at the same time the foot is going back into its next step. So again, break up those timings so that you get different timings for the mass of the body and then like that appendage. Get that foot back there so the body can fall on top of it, okay? And that's one reason why I might just kick the foot forward and then back and then just get the foot reaching for its next position and let the body then come down here. And the foot is already maybe just getting to its contact pose, right? Like maybe, I don't know, like by 99, maybe 100 at the most, okay? Okay. Let's see. Now, right here, as he comes out of it, well here, let me add one more note to this. So again, the body's going down, drag the head up a little bit, right? Right? You can get some nice little nuance in there where the box is coming down, boom, right? The box hits. Maybe he gets a little bit of like that, right? Just a little bit of rotation Z with a little bit of Y and a little bit of X in there, okay? Just get the organic motion. And then maybe let the impact pull the chest down and then back up a little bit. Get that little overshoot recoil. And just let the body kind of break up a little bit, you know, boom. And then he comes back, okay? And then puts his weight down. And then again, was the body's going down here, drag the head up this way, just a tiny bit, right? Just a tad, just to get like that nice overlapping shape in there, okay? And then right here, as he goes up, pull the head down a little bit, right? Okay? Now, another thing I would do here is, as he lets go of the box here, I think what I would do is I would go for a whole new grip here, completely. Okay, and there's a couple reasons why. For one, the hand's been in this position roughly the whole time he's had the box in his hands, right? Additionally, what I would do there for an opportunity is I would let go of the box, and then I would start to come in with my body, and then I would grab the box and start pushing. So then I get some overlapping shape there as well. And that way I'm not just going grip and the whole thing is moving in one piece, right? I'm gonna get my body going backwards, I'm gonna pull the hands off, then I'm gonna come in with my body and then grab the box and I'm gonna push it forward, okay? And what you can do as well is that gives you an opportunity to kind of pull, again, same notice from before, right? Let the hands come off the box, interesting little breakdown pose, and then get them into an anticipation pose here, and then grab on and push forward. So you can grab the box from maybe the front here. So maybe you got like the fingers maybe here, the thumbs up here, and then you get like this nice kind of like, you know, kind of push forward here. You know what I mean? And then from there you can do some interesting stuff with breaking the body up with what the arms are doing. Okay. All right. So then now he's going to push the box forward now. Yeah. So getting that separation there too, getting that nice, that kind of opposing force, right? And that opposing force is basically those extreme overlapping shapes, right? So you're bringing the hands back and the body's going forward. So you're bringing the hands towards the body, and then you're going to kind of connect, and then you're going to push out, and then you're going to overshoot with the hands too much, and the box is going to slide off the back of the table, okay? All right, cool. Let's see, what are you doing here? You're doing a little bit of a bottom mark here. You're kind of coming through this way. That's kind of cool. Because of that, what I might do coming over here is I might actually start do a little bit of foot roll here again, and then get him a little higher maybe through here. Just a tiny bit, nothing crazy, right? But just to give you some place to go as you come down on the other side of it in that bottom mark. So you get a little bit of an over underneath, okay? Cool. Okay, so now I like what you're trying to do here. I probably would pull his head down here, and I would actually stretch it coming back. Right? I would like go for like an elongated shape as you come up here, and then you can squash coming out of it on here, and then pop up into that that kind of reaction. Okay. Okay, let's talk about the physicality here. So as the box pushes and you recoil, if you look at your movement here, if we just track the back side of him, right, and we look at where he's going, he kind of like hits a wall right here, right? And he just kind of stops. And so you're letting the body reverse here over one frame, right? Okay, but you're not resolving the movement, right? Overshooting and coming back maybe. Okay, so think about how you want to resolve your reversals there, okay? And additionally, on top of softening this translation Z curve back and forward again, think about how you might need to take a small step back with this foot, possibly, you know, possible, you know. I might think about that, okay? But definitely let him kind of overshoot that and come back. Right into this move right here, okay? Because we just don't want things like going here, 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 and then just kind of stopping right there, okay? Think about how you're, right, overlapping shapes again, right? I'm going, right? And I'm like, I'm gonna come underneath and I'm gonna go and try to grab it, okay? So we wanna really make sure we're taking advantage of that as much as possible. And so it's important to think about things like your spacing and how you're resolving your arcs, okay? So if I was to turn on my onion skinning here, you can kind of get an idea of, let's see, let's do a new color here. Let's do red. Okay, so let's see here. He's here. We're gonna kind of track him here. So you can kind of get an idea of where you're putting your frames at, right? And if you look at it, it's very consistent spacing, okay? So you're not getting that nice slow down and then coming through the overlap of it, the overshoot back into the overshoot, then down, okay? So really be thinking about how you can maybe get an acceleration here out of, you know, this spacing right here, because you got a nice little ease out here, and then maybe right here, the body starts to push back a little bit, maybe more, and then you're dragging the head backwards, or I'm sorry, forward. So maybe your spacing is still kind of here for the most part, and then it starts to go back, and then maybe you have a frame in between here, so you're starting to slow down, and then shoot here, and then maybe like lock in right there, and then start to come back the other way, okay? And then what I would attempt to do there is I would attempt to connect an arc. So as he's going back right here, I would be thinking about him going backwards here and then forward, all connected, like, right? Like that. Something that's just kind of like back and round and coming back in to try to save the box, okay? So really be thinking about how you're resolving that movement. So you're just kind of going back right now and then down. And then for fun, what I would do here is I would push a lot of weight into this foot here, and then here, actually I wouldn't even do that. I take that back. I would do it a frame sooner. So you already have the foot here, and I would really like push that down here on this frame on, what are we at? 145. So 144, which is one before 145, I would already be thinking about how, if I'm here on my next frame, maybe this frame here is, you know, him starting to like slip off there, you know. So maybe I'm here, and then that push off kicks my foot back, okay. In fact, what you could do, let me erase that for a moment here. Maybe what we could do there is actually kick the foot here, and we get almost like this kind of push off this way, and then it kicks the foot down here on the next frame. Boom. Okay. Cool. Let's turn off our onion skin here. Whoop. Right? Something like that. Just, and it could even be back here more. It doesn't have to be like there necessarily. We could probably even think about it, you know, in terms of here. So just be thinking about those arcs, right? And like that push off, all that weight pushing out that foot. Maybe that back foot just whoop, slips out. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, this nice little jump up here is kind of cool, but you could probably be like, ah! Right? You could probably exaggerate the head a little bit more and like get that arm like really splayed out there. You know, you're doing a pretty decent job of that, I think, for the most part. But really, like maybe like no, right? Like drag the head as if he's gonna be like no. You know what I mean? Something to think about there. Additionally, if you're gonna pull this arm back like this, right, and get like this kind of open splayed hand here, rotate the body more here and let us feel that torque, okay, through the torso more, okay, and then resolve it back the other way, okay. Again, keep track of where your spacings are at as well, like where are you putting those frames, right? Like I think I would be here like you are, and then like I'd be probably like right, I don't know, I might even like play with like that kind of thing, and then over, just like boom, right? Okay. I'd actually love to see a little more frames here. I'd like to actually see you actually finish that button where it's just like boom, hits the table and just like resolves it. Right now I feel like we cut kind of at the tail end of the action, and I'd love to see more of just like, you know, that hit on the table and like resolve and like almost have the body almost relax on top of it because he's just planked, and then he's like, oh, I didn't get the box, and the box just crumbs to the side, just crushes to the back side of the tabletop, right? Okay. So that's one thing I might do, is just add some time to like button the shot up, you know. Don't be afraid here to like really like go for that no, right? Open that hand up as much as you can and like reach for it, no, kind of thing, you know. All right. And then on top of adding frames to the shot, when he hits the table, you kind of have the body just kind of go passive. And so what I mean is we have this shape, we have this shape, then we have this shape, and then that shape. That's kind of it, right? What I want to see is I want to see him jump up, and all that thrust and that trajectory and that effort and anxiety, all that stuff. It's like, no, I don't want to lose the box on the back side of it. There's like plates in there or something, whatever. There's glass in there, right? I want to see him hit the table and then just kind of bounce on it a little bit, like, ooh, right? Knocks the wind out of him, right? And then his head jerks down, his arm hits over, his feet recoil through, you know? There's just opportunities here to like really get into some fun stuff with the feet and so forth, you know, and have the body feel like the segments of the torso are reacting to hitting the surface hard, and then the pelvis trying to support the legs, upper body trying to support the head and the arms, and then the torso itself using the core to support his weight on top of the table, okay? But yeah, if you just watch the head here, you got a little bit of overlap here, but I would just push everything there. Like the whole physicality here could just be really fun, you know, like really entertaining. So just go for that maximum entertainment value and really try to get things to break up and to feel that looseness in the body, okay? All right, let's take a look at what we've done here so far. Cool. So yeah, there's like little things that I just love to do, and I'm not perfect. You know, I look at some of my work now that's online and I go, oh my God, I forgot to do that one thing, or I forgot to move my ankle or something. There's like things that I'll probably see forever, you know? And so that's why it's important to get feedback from other people and to keep pushing your eye, to keep developing your eye, you know, but little things like just ankle lean are so important to me when I remember to do it, right? But it's important, right? Because we're using our body and our feet to move, and the feet really are instrumental to how we shift our weight, how we push off things, how we change direction, how we pivot, how we rotate our feet to get into alignment with our movements. So really think about that thing when you're doing stuff like these little steps, you know, how could you really get a nicer lean into that foot? It would just feel really good to kind of just like push off in that direction of where he's going, right? Okay. And then same thing when the feet, you know, are at any time pivoting, like right here, even he's going to foot roll, but could you potentially foot roll and kind of start to like rotate his ball of the foot out to where he's going to step? Maybe, you know, and then of course, when he goes back here, maybe the foot is more knife edge, right? Maybe you're putting the foot down more on the edge here, you know, and so you're getting more of the side of the ankle possibly, you know, and then you can then roll the foot back on its rotation Y plus the Z and the X, or the foot roll, whatever you're using, you know, but you can just get so much more nicer, like textural connectivity to the ground and the world around you as a 3D character, right? And so you can really make the character feel like they're grounded and just have weight, okay? And that's really important to really integrate your character in the scene and have your audience buy into it, okay? But yeah, like little things like this, right? Just the little readjustment here can really be played up too, like a performance, like from a performance standpoint. This moment right here, when he kind of readjusts his hands and he gets his kind of his chin down on the box and he gets ready to lift the box, you could really be like pulling the box and then like, right? Like you could really show that effort and get involved in it and let the character really oversell the action there. And again, just maximizing the entertainment, right? You just want to really entertain your audience and really have people look at your work and want to watch it again because the movements feel believable, they're relatable, the character moments are relatable, and it's something you just want to watch over and over again, okay? So really be thinking about what you're putting into your character that people are going to relate to and want to watch again, okay? All right, cool. think that's about good. That's pretty good. So I guarantee you I'll watch this again some other point in time, and I'll see something that I missed, and then I'll kick myself in the butt, and then I'll probably email you. Okay, but I just want to say, you know, this is a really nice shot. You've got a really nice base here. You've got some good skill set already in terms of timing and your spacing, but really be cognizant of it. I want you to really become a student of what your timing and spacing are doing for you, and how you're meticulously, when you get to the polish phase, plotting out where your hands are going, where your feet are going, how your arcs are, you know, spacing out, how that's being handled within the timing you're allowing yourself, right? Just really going for that last 10% of polish, you know, and just really nailing everything down, okay? Because that kind of stuff is what's going to catapult you to that next echelon, right? It's going to take you up to that next level, closer to much more polished, relatable, entertaining animation, okay? So you're on your way. It's really great job. But yeah, don't be afraid to like really pop off into a nice, quick, slow movement and then go into the walk, right? So it's almost like, dook, 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 instead of just going kind of dook, 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 right? Like really give yourself a moment of like push off or weight shift, and then get the body going into it, right? And so find those moments of contrast, you know, one part's faster, one part's slower, you know. Getting contrast in the animation in general is always a good thing, because it's going to mix it up. It's going to keep your audience on their toes. They're going to want to see that physics have differential in timing and spacing and weight, and it's going to make it much more interesting. So don't be afraid to find moments in the animation to let it breathe, and then find moments where you want it snappy and almost jarring sometimes, right? But just really have a punch to it, okay? All right, cool. All right, Ravi, I think that's it. If you have any questions, let me know. Leave comments, whatever. Email me, you know. But again, thank you so much for uploading your work to let me look at it and review it. I really appreciate it. Great job. Okay, everybody else, thank you for watching. I hope these are helpful. Please get a hold of me through the website, www.real-monster.com. Grab the free lesson if you want. Email me through the contact button if you want a shot reviewed. Let me know. Okay, have a great night. Happy animating. And again, please like the video, subscribe, just to kind of help people find it. And then I'll keep making more of these. All right, guys, have a great day. And again, have a great 2020. All right, take care. Bye.